What's up, Hoopers? So the Los Angeles Lakers, there's some breaking news. They brought in 4 different free agents to work them out. Now, that's not quite the free agent breaking news as it is some of the other free agents they didn't work out that are still available that I feel would be a tremendous upside lift to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, we have to look at this in totality. They've left one roster spot open. Is that because they're still thinking about doing a Russell Westbrook trade and it might end up bringing 2 players over and they would have to move a player? They got a lot of young talent that they're going to be, throwing out in different rotations this year to see who can wear the purple and gold. But that also leaves them really having to drop one of these young talents if they add another wing. But this is something that I think going into the season, they're going to be still with Russell Westbrook. He's not going anywhere. And getting one of these absolute knockdown shooter free agent wings, because we're lacking wings, we got like 45 point guards, could really help the season. And at the end of it, you're going to vote which one of these free agent signings would you love to have on the Lakers. I am your NBA white guy. I talk all things NBA hoops from a hooper's perspective. And if you like the hoop, make sure you dunk that like button and you subscribe so you never miss a video. So there's 3 free agents out there that we're going to be discussing today. I'm going to bring up the shot charts. One of these, if you look at his career, he's not so good. But if you can remember what he did for the Lakers at one point, which was actually setting one of the most historically runs in the playoffs for the finals, for three-point shooting, and nobody remembers it. This is what could help the Lakers really be not only in the playoffs, but title contenders. So we're going to break these 3 players down. And again, at the end, you're going to vote which one of these hoopers you want most to be a Laker. Number 1 is Markieff Morris. Now, I know what a lot of people say. He's old, he's washed, he can't shoot that good. Well, I'm going to break down some stats, and I'm going to talk from some Hooper's perspective of just how good he was with the Lakers. Now, before I get into the stats and really showcase something that nobody ever is looking at, I got to talk about really what he could do in that organization. This is a dude that LeBron battled for many years, not only himself, but his twin brother. There's pictures on the internet where this dude is bear hugging LeBron. They've gotten into scuffles. He's a big dude. This guy is, goes eye to eye with LeBron. He's 6'8", 6'9", and he's a tough guy. And just like I've talked about in these videos, again, when there's news anchors and there's people who sit behind a desk and they've never been in a locker room, they don't truly understand what it's like to be a hooper. And when you battle against these dudes every game, night in, night out, and then when you finally join with them, you ride or die with him, right? This is something that I have stressed with the Patrick Beverley and the Russell Westbrook relationship. Now, that's a whole different story we got to go down to see if this is going to work. But Markieff Morris, LeBron, they've had their battles. When they played together, ride or die. If anybody even so much as bumped LeBron, Morris was right there. He was ready to throw down. This is what hoopers do. You forget the past, and whoever you're riding with, you roll with. Now, let's talk about Markieff Morris in the playoffs. But to do that, I got to show some stats. So here we are. This is the lifetime career stats of Markieff Morris. The first thing I want to talk about is we need wings. We need height, right? And the other thing is we need tough guys and glue guys. If we get a team full of this, it's going to be like the Detroit Pistons all over again because you already got Pat Bev. If we can get Russell Westbrook to turn on and be an absolute monster, and then you get a guy like Markieff Morris, these dudes are tough. They're going to get the rest of the team to be tough, and I love it. And that's what Coach Darvin Ham wants too. But when we look at overall statistics, and this is what the pencil pushers will tell you, well, he just doesn't shoot that good from 3. 34% career average isn't the best. If you look at it, though, in 2020 with the Lakers here, he actually shot one of his worst. It was 31%. But, again, as a defender, this is a guy who can go out and he can guard your big man if they go small. He can go out and he can guard wings. He's not an absolute just knockdown defender, but he can play a great role in a defense, and he is highly respected. But let's look at something really quick. Because if we look at totality, 34%, we look at that year with the Lakers, 31%. But I remember, because I'm a Lakers fan and I watched that bubble, well, more likely I'm a LeBron fan, and one of the greatest statistics I saw was this. If we search it out right here to Markieff Morris 2020 playoff stats, when they was in that bubble, whooping it, 21 games, he shot an impressive 42%, averaging 3.3 threes a game. Now, the reason I bring that up in these statistics is because a lot of pencil pushers and news anchors, they're going to just look at one statistic, right? But you have to understand, especially being a Laker, it's all right here. We've seen it absolutely just diminish players. Dwight Howard came in, his first time, and it was tough. The pressure of being a Laker is like nothing else. And when a guy can not only be a Laker, but go into the finals and absolutely have his career numbers, and if you look at that, that is one of the greatest runs in the entire Lakers organization history for three-point shooting percentages. So he is confident. He is somebody who in the big moments can give you big minutes. He can shut down big players on the other team, and he's a tough guy. This is a guy you could sign in vet min, and I would love to see. But you will not believe the next two dudes who are available. And before I get to that, make sure that you are dunking that like button. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the NBA White Guy. Number 2 on the list. Well, he was there last year, and he is a knockdown shooter. It's Carmelo Anthony. Because we all know he can shoot, but I do have to bring up the shot chart for this one reason. The only thing he is very sus on, defense. But if we look, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you will know that I bring up this shot chart because it's very integral to the basketball organization of the Los Angeles Lakers to figure out where the players' spots are. And if you haven't seen those videos, subscribe to my channel and go watch it because I'm giving you a real hooper's perspective. But we have got knockdown shooters, and I'm talking even Russell Westbrook having 40+% from the corner. So when we realize these spots that these players can shoot from, it can help the Lakers to be an overall better three-point shooting team. Now, a lot of the players like Anthony Davis and Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook, they're very good shooters from the corner, and so is Carmelo Anthony, 40+%. But Russell Westbrook can shoot 45% from this corner. Anthony Davis shoots 50%. These are outrageous numbers, so that means that we need guys on corners, right? A 4-out, 1-in offense means that you've got a dunker, somebody in the middle, and it doesn't have to be a big man. This is actually where you could put Russell Westbrook and have him moving a lot more and cutting. But that means that we also need 4 guys outside, and that means corners, and that means wings. So Kendrick Nunn, I did some video on him. He can shoot the lights out from up top. Look at your boy Carmelo Anthony, 44%. Very, very good from these two spots here. Kendrick Nunn, very good from these two spots. There's your 4-out, 1-in. You can knock down 40+% from these dudes from all of these different spots, and LeBron's a great straightaway shooter. So Carmelo's a guy who can give you buckets from straightaway, allowing Westbrook or Pat Bev or any of these other players to get to their corner spots. Now, the number 3 free agent signing that the Lakers should be looking at, well, they brought him in. He was one of the 4 players that came in and worked out, and I see why. It's Jeremy Lamb. He's a 6'5", 6'6", 3-and-D player. This is a guy who can really get into people and get steals and really push tempo too. So I love him, but I want to show some other shot chart stuff of one of his seasons just 1 year ago shooting. Now, this is a guy who's been playing in the league for quite some time now, in the last few years, playing with teams like the Sacramento Kings. I'm telling you right now, that's just tough. They're basically in tank mode for the last 400 years, and it's tough to really gauge these players, but we all know that he's a very tough defensive player, and he can shoot the lights out if, again, he gets to the right spots. Now, looking at the shot chart here again, he's had multiple seasons in that mid 30%, and a couple of them upper 30s and even over 40% from 3. So, again, we want defenders. That's really what's going to push the needle for the Lakers this year, because we've all seen it. If LeBron's healthy and AD's healthy, they're one of the most unstoppable teams in the league. They just can't get healthy. But they also had really good defensive teams those years. So we know we can get our offense from a LeBron and from an AD and anybody of these other caliber players if we get to the right spots. But it all boils down to confidence. When you're winning a lot of games, players get more confident, will knock down more shots. When the team is like last year, when everybody's hurt and when everybody can't make shots and everybody's pointing fingers, it will drastically bring down the shooting percentages. It's just how the game works. But this is a guy who not only is going to give you tough D and be able to make a rotation, 7, 8, 9, whatever. In the playoffs, it's 7, 8-man rotation. That he can give you real minutes and defense. But if you look at some of these shot chart statistics, it is really impressive. Again, another straightaway shooter, 40%, 35%, 45%. So It's really important because a lot of guys, especially as they get older into their careers, they love the corner three. It's a little bit shorter, and there's just something about it. Just like Westbrook, just like Pat Bev. They're atrocious from straight on, but the corners, they're knockdown shooters. And again, now I haven't even shown you his craziest statistic, which I'm going to get to here in a second. But again, when you talk about a hooper's perspective, the toughest thing about basketball is knowing that you can't make it from a spot. When you go to this spot and you're like, dude, I have not made a shot from there in 5 games, you think about that before you shoot it. I don't care what anybody says. MJ, Kobe, LeBron, these dudes, they know their spots. Now, I'm not saying they can't hit it from these areas, but you know as a basketball player where you hit it. I'm telling you right now, you can have 10-foot shots on the left side or the right side, and one of them you'll shoot 80%, the other one 10%. It's just something in your brain. Now, that's one thing that I really wanted to push, because if we can get Lakers, I keep saying spots, because it builds confidence. If you watch that ball go through the net a couple times, you can have percentages like I'm about to show here. Now, when Jeremy Lamb goes down to this corner, what do you think he thinks? 72%. Now, obviously, he was 5 of 9. It's not a massive deal of information there, but that's pretty confident. He knows if he shoots from there, that baby's splashing. But again, having confident players who can shoot basically all the way around the horn, 0 of 5 from this corner, he probably thinks, damn, I don't like being in that right corner right there, so I'm always going to be over here. And he can finish around the bucket as well. And great mid shot here as we do a 4-out 1 in, and there's a lot of cuts. There's going to be floaters and jump shots. This is a really hard shot to make. Floaters, big defenders in there. So Jeremy Lamb's another great player that can bring us 3 and D. Carmelo Anthony's more just knockdown shooter and confidence. Markieff Morris gives us a little bit more hype. You rate it right now. Vote down below. If you were the Lakers general manager and sitting next to Rob Pelinka, which one of these free agents would you bring in, or would you bring in none and leave that roster spot? Does that open roster spot mean they're still going to move Russell Westbrook? Comment that down below as well. And make sure that you dunk that like button and you hit the subscribe button so you never miss anything from your NBA white guy. And I also just did the craziest video ever of the 3 biggest flaws that the Lakers have. If they fix those, they can win the title. If they don't, they're going to have the worst season they've ever seen. Go ahead and click that video right there and check it out.